What's happening, everybody? Tom Winkler here. So been a kind of a rough year. I've got a video that's going to go up after this, the last bass tournament I fished. I haven't done editing it yet, so I want to do a quick short real quick for you guys. I may have already talked about this hack. I've got a couple of them I want to talk about. They're super easy. I don't have this to show you. Hold on. So I'm editing a video right now, and I was getting my boat ready for some saltwater fishing this week. Actually on vacation for the first time this year. Well, second time technically. I went to Vegas in May. But I wanted to cover a couple little quick hacks. I may have covered one of these. I don't know if I covered the other one. So if this is repeat information, like and subscribe anyway. So what I wanted to show you guys was a couple things. So a very nice fellow by the name of Rex Hoyt runs Texas Rattler, and he's got these amazing jig heads that have built-in rattles, big eyes on them, big reflective eyes on them, and I absolutely love them. I'm still a big fan of, you know, your old school jig heads with a screw lock like this, but everything has its time and place. So what I wanted to show you was this little hack. I'm gonna take you down a little bit here. So sorry for the noise. So what I noticed is that a lot of times when you're throwing soft plastics, or you're throwing a spoon type bait like this, maybe you're throwing like a corky or something, anything that has a kind of an erratic action through the water, when you jig a jig head on a shrimp tail or a cocoa hole minnow. I'm a big H&H cocoa hole guy too, H&H, and especially Texas Rattler. I do this little hack, and I probably have showed you before, but what you do is you take a split ring and you put a barrel swivel on it and you attach it to your jig head. So I was about to do that with this. This is the 3D rattling spoon by Texas Rattler, and I wanted to cover this thing real quick because I was kind of impressed when I pulled it out of the package. For one, they put that little bit of belly flash on there, a little epoxy with the fleck in it. And then it's also got a rattle on the back side. But the big thing for me is that red eye on both sides. Kind of a terror eyes look to it, and then of course the little flash on the hook there, little tail flasher. So I was getting ready to do this like I've done before on this bait, and it made me decide to stop and do a quick video. So I already have these Johnson spoons that are rigged up that way, and what it does is, for stuff like this that does kind of a flutter, even on like maybe like your fat boys like this, you can do it on these because they have an erratic action also. But the main thing is when you do them on jig heads, especially the screw lock type like this, short shank hooks, it's kind of hard, especially when you're throwing like, let's say a fluke style bait with the regular hook is a little easier, but when you're jig heading it, like on these Texas walking shrimp, getting them lined up perfectly centered with the spine of that is sometimes difficult. And when you try to rehook them or recenter them, you kind of tear that bait up kind of bad. So what I did was I started doing this to just eliminate line twist. So if I have some imperfections in my rigging, this compensates for that imperfection of the way I rigged it up on the jig head. So I do it on those, I do it on spoons. What I don't do it on is stuff like a mirror lure, because they kind of tend to travel like a lipless crankbait. They have that kind of action. I don't really do it on top waters. I tie a different knot on top waters. I don't use like the standard Palomar knot. I use a different knot that has a loop in it. I may show you all that later. And it kind of gives that nose a little more free action. But that's really the only thing I was going to show you, except for this other thing. If any of you guys use rod sleeves like these, and I'm going to turn this a little bit so y'all can see. So you got your rod sleeves. Most of them come in a pretty standard length, and I think if you get the standard length, they're pretty inexpensive. But most of us have 7, 7.5, 8 foot rods that we use for saltwater. I have some for freshwater too. The problem is this doesn't reach. So one thing you can do, which is not a bad idea, is you can always take a zip tie, run it through there, loop it, and you put about a 2-inch extension on there, and that works. But what I found, use a hair dilly, I don't know what they're called, ponytail holder, and if you loop it back on itself like that, now you have the elastic from here, and you can stretch that out another 4 to 6 inches. So if you got a longer rod and you want to protect your eyes with one of these, go to Walgreens, H-E-B, whatever, Grab you some ponytail holders. If you've got some of these that are a little too short for your saltwater rods, you can add 6 inches or so to these, so they'll at least protect your eyes when you're taking them in and out of rod boxes. A lot of us just stand them up on the center console, run them that way, but if you ever have to go somewhere, you want to stop and eat, you're going to run into Roy's Bait and Tackle and pick up some tackle. If you want to put them in your rod lockers, if you have them, that'll help you use them on the longer rods. So that's that. I'm coming in close, don't get mad. Real quick, I don't want to make this too long. It's supposed to be a short video. So Texas walking shrimp I've talked about, they come with a jig head that looks like, ooh, do I have any here? No, I don't. I do, I don't. No, I don't. I lied, I do have one. This is the white one. There's the screw lock, there's the rattle, and the hook. And that's pretty much all I got, guys. I'm gonna finish rigging up. I'm probably gonna take me 3 bait casters and maybe a spinner rod or 2 and go out maybe tomorrow afternoon or the next day. Definitely going Thursday for my dad's birthday. Pay a little tribute to him, and we'll see you on the next one. I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks. But wait, there's more. I have koozies. So the first 10 people that comment on this video, on this crooked video, I will send you a free koozie. So make sure you like the video, comment on the video, and then hit me up on Tom Laker Fishing at Yahoo. And if you're one of the first 10, I will mail you a free koozie. All right, thanks. Bye.